my review of Dr. Stone, Chapter 117, The Kingdom of Science Strikes Back. And, oh my god, right off the bat, I just absolutely love this scene between Ryu and Suka. Well done, Suka. You bore a real responsibility as the only survivor of the Perseus attack. In my eyes, you're already a full-fledged warrior of the Kingdom of Science. God damn, I love that scene. Just Suka, I mean, she's smiling ear to ear. She's blushing. She's so proud of herself for managing to get this all done. And just, God bless you, Ryu, for acknowledging her as being so useful and so resourceful and so helpful here. Oh, God. This is actually my favorite Ryu scene ever. These 2 pages. I mean, next Ryu's like, my captain's intuition is telling me that you want to get the weapon right as it's being used in midair. There's this whole thing in his head, you're going to use a kite. And Senku replies, nope, we're going to build a drone. Just the look on his face when Senku says that is... beautiful. I mean, even Ryu's overwhelming greed and desire for all things this world could not feasibly imagine getting a freaking drone at this stage of their lives. And it is just absolutely beautiful. I love it. But before that, they need to wake up Katsuki. And for that, they need to freaking find him. Did you forget he was like thrown overboard? That's kind of a big issue. So they go to try and find him, and even with Ryu's, I'm assuming, Olympic level swimming abilities, given a lifetime on the boat and the fact that he is literally all muscle, him and Soyuz don't last too long, and they have to come up pretty soon. So only solution to that is oxygen tanks. I absolutely love there's, casually tearing apart the science lab, put this all together, which, yeah, makes a lot of sense for why they actually needed a mobile science lab. Not just a mobile science toolbox or a mobile science shed, but full-wheeled vehicle with everything that they needed for it. So that was just all so they could take it apart and use it to build new stuff. And of course, Suka's worried about Katsuki. He's going to be so heartbroken when he sees the lab car in pieces. But Senku and Ryu just say, hey, he'll put it back together. He'll love the challenge. And everyone else is like, yeah, but he still has to go through the labor of putting it back together. Anyway, they also use the pistons from the science car to build a pump to fill up the oxygen tank, which starts off super easy. I mean, at 2 atmospheres of pressure, it's like inflating a bike tank. By 10, it's taken some serious hard work, and by 50, it's taking all 4 of them running at full strength, while Suka is covering it with cold water so it doesn't freaking explode. Yeah, so this is a full 10 straight hours of labor. I mean, at which point the pump itself explodes because it just couldn't handle this pressure anymore. It was just, Jesus Christ. Honestly, if the oxygen tank had been what exploded, I think it would have killed all 5 of them very easily. I mean, even after all that, though, they only have 10 minutes before they run out of oxygen, which, Jesus Christ. I'm honestly not sure if that was worth it. I feel like Ryu alone could have, held his breath for at least 5 minutes, given his history in the water. And I've seen people hold their breath for that long, though. I guess, doing physical labor like swimming and all that makes it a little harder. Just gotta love Soyuz's reaction to actually being underwater, actually breathing underwater like that. I mean, to a fishing community like his, that must have been freaking godsend. Like a miracle, to say the least. Even after everything he's seen built, this is just unfreaking believable. And once again, Soyuz proves to have an interesting mind. He's able to recall exactly where they went into water, exactly which direction, and exactly how hard. Which, I mean, amazes Ryu, but then he remembers that he remembers stuff from when he was an infant. So I'm thinking Soyuz is some kind of photographic memory or something. I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean he's smart. It just means, he can remember things well, which I know a lot of people might say, oh, then what's the difference between that and being smart? Well, being smart is being able to, properly use that information and calculate things in your head. I've seen plenty of series where they have someone say, oh, I have photographic memory, and like, oh, why aren't you working for NASA or being, something like that, which they respond, I remember things well, doesn't mean I'm good at calculating things. So then they, thankfully, using Soyuz's information, they're able to find them, the whole crew of the Perseus, the ship of science, all sitting alone in the dark. They sent out their signal, 3 jellyfish. No idea what they made that out of, but okay. And now all that's left to do is bring up Katsuki, which, yeah, feels kind of tricky, given that he's submerged about 200 feet of water and they have maybe like 3 minutes of oxygen left. So, yeah, that's That's going to be a problem. I mean, that's really going to be a problem. I mean, it might be possible, but these two are pretty strong, so they might be able to do it, but carrying and lifting that much weight underwater just seems difficult. I'm sure they'll find a way, though. I'm sure they'll wake him up, which that's going to be interesting as all hell, because he's the only person, only new timer who was ever turned to stone and brought back to life. So that's going to be a strange sensation for him coming out of it. Like, that's what you guys went through for 3,000 years? Wow. And then, no, I think he'll go over pretty quickly when they tell him, we want you to build a flying vehicle. Honestly, I can already see his clothes, his freshly made clothes exploding once again as he screams out, yes! Oh god, he is literally one of my favorite characters. Just the enthusiasm he has is just so hilarious. I absolutely love it. So next week, they're going to hopefully get up Kasuki. I could see that being another chapter to them just getting him up back and, unpetrified. But I'd rather, they actually get into the whole what comes next, waking him up and then say, okay, this is what we need to build the drone. From there, move on to the actual battle, trying to get the drone set up and get it where it needs to be so they can catch it when it's used. I mean, we still haven't seen the master. We still haven't really seen what anyone's capable of yet, so I don't think we're going to see this soon. I still think there's a lot more of this arc that's going to happen before they go catching it. But let me know anything in the comment section down below. What's going to happen next? Be sure to like, subscribe. Until next time.
Peace.